Anybody would like to speak, or like I'm okay with any approach? Anybody will like to say something about these verses, or how?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Can I say something?
Yes, why not?
Yeah. Actually, what I read, I found that in these verses, mostly it is about the sense control. Like we have to control our senses, but not forcefully. We have to engage our senses in Krishna consciousness. Like we have to engage all our senses so that we don't fall into the material things again.
Right.
And Arjun is asking about the symptoms of the person who is fully into Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is giving like who gives up all desires for sense gratification, then who is not disturbed in mind even in the threefold miseries that we get from like Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, and one more, three miseries which we get. Then who is not affected by good or evil things like happiness or distress or anything. And one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, like how the tortoise withdraws his senses.
Right.
Yeah. So what I have found that it's more about the sense control thing. And Prabhupada is mentioning like he's giving lot of stress on not forceful sense like what we say. Yeah, we don't have to forcefully control the. I'm not getting the word how to say. Forcefully,
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is what this is only.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody? Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Krishna.
Anybody else would like to add something? 0.54 to 2.72. Okay, so if you are all okay, I can say something. No, if it's okay. If somebody wants to speak, they can. I will just give some of my analysis. I can analysis, but the flow, how the flow is going into.
Yes, please, probably, please proceed.
Something that I thought can be shared. Okay, so like 2.54, like if we say the flow, right? Krishna first explained what this is second chapter, right? So first Arjuna surrender, then Krishna explained the Sankhya philosophy, material and body. He gave the difference. Then he was answering, actually, he's answering Arjuna's questions, right? So if you see here 2.11 to 30, he gave answer to this question of Arjuna by explaining the Sankhya philosophy that they are souls. So you don't lament that you are killing somebody or somebody is killed. Then he explained about the enjoyment. Arjuna said, I will not be able to enjoy. So then Krishna said, no, you are a Kshatriya, so you fight. If you die, you will have Swarga. If you win, you will have all the world. So anyway, you will enjoy. That is your dharma, so you should do it. Because if you don't do, then people will criticize you. So he explained about the straight away sakam karma, or what we say karma kanda, right? Do your activity and enjoy the results. And then he said, okay, I will explain you in different way by buddhi yoga. So by intelligence fixed in the supreme. Then he explained about the nishkam karma yoga and also some part of bhakti yoga. So he explained that if you, in the 2.39 or 40, I think, if you do this, there is no loss. And it is beyond the guna. So that is bhakti. On 2.45 or 46, he talks about Nishkam Karma Yoga. That you give up your attachment to the results and do your activity. By this, you will be liberated. For that, he said, you have to fix the intelligence on the goal or purpose of your life. So at that point, actually, Arjuna got one question, right? So 47 to 53 explained about the Nishkam Karma Yoga. And he said, by doing this, your intelligence will be fixed on self-realization. And you will not get agitated by these objects around you. So you will be fixed, like even if there are so many things are going around you, you will be always peaceful, and you will be fixed. That is called, he said, Krishna said in 53, that is called Samadhi. And Arjuna got the question, okay, this person whose intelligence is fixed on the goal of his life or self-realization or internally, so how this person will behave in this world? Arjuna immediately got that question or curiosity, right? What type of person is this? Will that person, I can be that person? Or if my intelligence is fixed, if I am that person, will that person fight in the war? What he will do? And how, okay, if he fights, how he will fight? So he got several questions at this point, and that Arjuna puts to Krishna. Okay, so in 54, Arjuna asked Krishna for these questions, right? So there are three to four questions asked by Arjuna in 2.54, and that is related to this person who has fixed intelligence and who is in samadhi. So Krishna uses the word samadhi, right? So he says, okay, what is this person who is in samadhi? Sthita pragya, the word use it. So pragya means intelligence, okay, and sthita means fixed, right? So sthita pragya. So Arjuna uses the word sthita pragya ka bhasha samadhi tasya keshava. What is his language? First question. Then he asks sthita di kim prabhaseta. The second question. Kim asita rajeta kim. So there are four questions asked, like how he speaks. Like generally, when we say speak in Shastra, it means like bhashya. The word is bhashya. So that represents the what we say characteristics or guna of that particular person. What is the characteristic of such a person? Who is this samadhista? So that is first question. Then he asks, Kim Prabhasheta, how he speaks. So all these words, like, or how he Kim Asita, how he walk. No, sorry, Kim Asita, it's not how he walk. Rajeta Kim is how he walks. Kim Asita, how he controls. So how does he sit? Okay. So these are his questions, like what are characteristic, how we speak, how we sit, how we walk. These are the four questions Arjuna is asking. So here we have to remember that these questions are not, we should not take the logical meaning or direct meaning. Speaking means like I am speaking now, that type of speaking, or I walk, or I sit down. So this all have a deep meaning that Arjuna is asking. So we should not take this. How we understand? We understand from the reply of Krishna that, oh, he's not talking about the speaking like the words coming out of mouth, or no, not that type of thing. So he's asking something different. So what is he asking? Like, how does he speak? What are his characteristics, by which we can understand that person? Then Prabhasheta, how this person will react, what he will say when there is happiness or distress, what Mataji was saying, like all this, what will he say? And then Kim Asita, how he refrains the senses, like, or how he sit down. So when we say sit down, it's just sit down. It's not easy to just sit down. You have to control your eyes, your mouth, your senses, all you have to control, no? Just to sit down also. So that question is actually how he refrains his senses to the world around him. Because there will be so many things that will allure him. So that is his question. Then he's Rajesh the king. Okay, such a person, how he will walk in this world? Because this world has all the things which give desire. So, okay, such person will sit one thing. So he has to refrain, he has to control his senses, right? Then, but he cannot just sit. We have to act, right? Everybody has to act. So then he says, okay, how he will act, how he will walk. So he says, Urajayat again, how he walks. So these are the four questions that Arjuna asked Krishna about this person who is samadhista, who is sthita pragya. So then from 2.55 to 72, Krishna answers those questions one by one. So, and he gives some examples also. And so these verses are actually very practical verses in Bhagavad Gita, which we can apply in our life. So of course, all the verses are important and can be made from Gyan to Vigyan. But these verses are very, very practical because in day-to-day activities, we have to do all these things. So very interesting verses and can be applied in our life straight away. So like then Krishna from 2.55, Krishna answers the question. What is his characteristic, right? So his main characteristic is he is not focusing outside. His intentions, or he is focusing always inside. Inside means internal. So what is inside my body is my soul. So he's focusing on the soul. He's not focusing outside. So last time we discussed, like, there is soul and there is body, right? The connection between these two is mind. So mind can focus on the soul, or mind can focus outside. So on the body. So the mind focuses on the body, we go behind the desires of the body, and then we say it is a external. So outside things will control my desires and my body and everything, and I will run after them. This is all external. But what is internal? The mind focusing on internal, inside, right? So what is the real peace, what is real happiness, what is the truth of the life, what I am doing in the life, right? So all these questions and trying to find out those answers. Is everything going on inside your body? So the mind focus not outside, inside of your body, and the mind is always working on improving yourself or controlling, and that everything comes from inside. Like Madaji was saying, it's mostly sense control, yes, but that will come only through if we are internal, if the mind focuses internally. So these are the first characteristics that Krishna is saying, okay, this is the first characteristic of that person, that his mind is not focusing outside, it's inside. So from that we can understand. So this is the first question. Sorry, this is the answer to the first question, how he speak. So actually Krishna is giving the characteristic. So it's not the worldly language he's talking about. He's not saying which language, which words, no. His behavior. Then 56, Krishna answers the second question, starts answering the second question, what language or how he speak. So there, actually, then Krishna gives this happiness and distress, fear, anger, all these things. Krishna says that he will not be disturbed. Because if you see anger, attachments to like this happiness and all these things, these are outside, external things coming from outside. But this person, who is Sthita Pragya, is focused inside. So he knows that whatever going outside is not in relation to what I am truth, right? The truth Krishna told in 2.11 to 30, your soul. So there's no relation to that. So he is not fearful, he is not angry. He is always happy. and is also not attached to happiness. So generally, we always say like, when there are problems, we get disturbed, right? So generally, we try to avoid that. So we should not get disturbed when there are challenges in life. That is, of course, good. But the more important is when there is happiness, there are no problems. At that time, we feel peaceful or everything fine. But we should not get attached to that state also. That is also a problem. How it is problem? Like if today everything is fine, weather is good, my health is good, my activities are going good. So what I feel satisfied. I feel peaceful today. Next day, tomorrow will not be same, right? There are never same days. Right? Tomorrow will be different. So if tomorrow the weather is not good, what I will do? I will compare it to yesterday. I'll say, oh, yesterday it was very nice weather, nice temperature. Its sun was mild, very nice. Today is what very hot and 32 temperature. So we compare. Right? So why it is happened? Because we were attached to what was the weather yesterday. So this is also very important because if we start getting detached from the happiness also, then the comparison point goes. How it was 5 years back, how it was 10 years back. It was very good. Now it is not good. My body was 5 years back, I was very healthy and I was able to work 12 hours, 14 hours. Now I am not able to work. So body is not good. But that is not the correct way of understanding. The way of understanding is, yeah, as we grow old, the body deteriorates. That's the fact, right? Body will finishing. So we grow old, the body strength, the body's power, and everything will go on reducing. So that is a fact. We should accept that fact. No point in comparing 10 years back. Yeah. Reality, we have to, of course, check. Okay, 10 years back and now my body is different. So my body is deteriorating. So what I should do? So I should focus internally more. So this is how this person who is Sthita Pragya is you don't get disturbed or get attached. So if there is something good happening with you, is okay. If something bad happening with you, is okay. When there's some bad things happen, this person will not blame somebody. Well, because of you, I am in trouble. Because of this situation, I am in trouble. I am always good. Because everybody around me is bad, I am in this situation. That is not what this person will do because this is external. So he just tries to justify externally, but that's not Sthita Pragya because the mind is focused outside and trying to find out the reasons outside. So if we are facing issues, of course, there is something that we have done in background or in the past somewhere which are coming to us. That is one reason. Or if you are doing bhakti, there will be challenges when you do bhakti. Why the challenges are there? They are for your purification. So generally this word comes right, purification, purify them. Many times I feel what is purification, right? Exactly my intelligence purification, my what exactly is this? So we have the filters, right? Water filters. They are also what? They are purifiers, right? So the muddy water goes inside from one side, and from the other side, pure water comes. But what happens within that filter, there are different layers of some materials through which the water pass, and in each layer, particular type of size of dirt that is removed from the water, and the water flows below, down, and at the end it becomes pure. So what is happening? The dirt or the dirty part from the water is going, and then we say, oh, this is pure water. So similarly, we also are passing through this life. Uh, we also have so many problems in us, which are not good for our spiritual practice, right? So all these challenges or whatever coming to us is a way to remove that dirt from our heart and our mind and our body. How we react to that That is important. So that is purification. So we have to go through this process. And this Sthita Pragya, he don't get disturbed by these challenges. He understands that this will happen. But in this situation also, he's fixed on his self-realization goal, because 2.55 characteristic is there, right? He's always focusing inside. So he's still fixed. Challenges will come. There will be problems. There will be loss. There will be people criticizing you, blaming you, saying anything to you. But this person is always okay. He knows that, okay, everything this is happening for my purification. So I should not react. I should not react to the situation outside. So he always tries to be. So Krishna says, this is Sthita Pragya. This is what is his language. He don't, in very informal way, if we can say, in any situation, he don't react. So he don't speak, actually. He is internally. So whatever happens outside, he is always silent and he accepts everything. So that is one way. So then 58, Krishna talks about how he sits. So how he sits is actually or the control. Like Mataji also put this point, like it's not by force that sit, but force and sit. That will not sustain. We can sit like that for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, not more than that, because you cannot force your body that much. So how it is done? It is like it's done by internal engagement of the mind. So always remember, mind is the king of the senses, right? So if you control the mind, rest of the things come under control. So you engage your mind inside. So mind is thinking inside. Everything comes in control. So then from 59 to 63, Krishna tells how this person does this sense control. So there Krishna gives example of several examples, like it's one example of ocean, right? Its water is entering into it, but its size, its level remains same, size remains same, right? So that way Krishna is telling, like, okay, this person knows that there will be so many desires I want to fulfill, but don't take action again with those desires. He just observes that desires are coming and going. So, for example, some simple language, like if I want to eat something, eat some food, eating that desire every day. So today I get desire, I go in it. Tomorrow I get, again I eat. Third day also again I eat. But then I understand this is not good. It's a junk food and I'm eating every day. It's not good. So then I will decide, okay, now if the thought or the desire comes that, okay, now I have a craving to eat samosa. So if I'm Sthita Pragya, what I will say, okay, fine, the desire has come, but I will not eat today, maybe tomorrow, not today. So I'm fixed on that I don't want to eat it today because it's not good for me. So there Krishna tells that, okay, he's a fixed person, he can control his desires. By control, slowly the desires got. So if 4 days I control my desire to eat samosa, 5th day the desire will not come; it will automatically go. That's the power of mind. If you somehow manage that those 3 minutes, 4 minutes of strong desire, then it tries to focus on something else immediately. Because mind wants us to be engaged outside, outside, outside. So if one is desire is not fulfilled, for some time it will try to force us, force the intelligence and everything. But if you can control that much, then after particular time it will give up, and then it will try to find some more desires. So this can be practiced. This can be observed, how these things go. And when the yogis they do the meditation, right, in Zen also, or on other meditation practices, is this: observe the mind, how the desires come and how the mind wants to react, and you don't react to that. And by that, slowly the desires go. Then Krishna says, like a person who is not fixed, then what happens to that person? So he gives the series, 3 to 4 series of verses, like if you are not fixed, then you get attachment. Then once you, so I like samosa, I like samosa, I like samosa, that is my attachment. Then 3 days, after 3 days, I get desire. Then if I don't get samosa, I get angry. And when I am angry, of course, my memory is gone, my intelligence is gone, and then I will do something which is not expected to be done. So this is the chain, how it works. So in our life also, we can, and I have observed this, how it happens. So, and mind is very clever. Slowly, it's very patience. Mind has lot of patience uh, to make the desire strong. It's really interesting how we know that mind is doing this, that it's making me to do something and I don't want to do. But still mind is very patient. He will say, okay, okay, now we are not eating samosa, fine, fine, no problem, no problem, I am okay. After 2 hours, again, he will try. What happened to samosa? Why I cannot eat samosa? Then our it controls. Then we control again after 3 hours. Same point will come. 1 day gone, 2 day gone, 3 day gone. 3 days we control. Then fourth day again mind will try. Now I have tried and now I control for 3 days. So today is fourth day. Today I can eat because I already controlled 3 days. So I saved eating the junk food. So okay, after 3 4 days, once is fine. So mind was patient till 3 days. That don't eat, don't eat, don't eat, and then mind presented it very differently. This time it didn't say you want to eat samosa. No, it way other way around. You have not eaten 3 days. Now it is good. Now you can eat, and then I get desire. Now I want to eat. And if I don't get that time, then I become angry. So mind is uh, very patient, use all different types of reasoning and different types of allurement to us to get agitated. But the Sthita Pragya, uh, what is his? He has achala buddhi. His intelligence is fixed. He knows what I want to do, and his focus is only there. Sita, very stable focus there. So after 3 days also mind cannot allure him. So then mind becomes calm, slowly, slowly, slowly. Then this is how this person sits, means how this is how he controls this. Then Krishna into 64, he talks about how he walks. Like that means how he this person deals with the outside world. So till now we see that this person is so fixed that other things cannot allure him. But till now we are talking about inside, right? Controlling the senses from inside. And but then once you do that, you are able to control, then how you will walk in this world. So then Krishna says, okay, he interacts with the sense objects, but he's not attached to it. So for example, firstly, I was trying to avoid samosa, but once I am fixed, right? Now what I will do, even if the samosa comes in front of me, I don't have any intention or any desire to eat it. So my that desire itself is gone. So that samosa will not attract me now anymore. That's gone. So that one desire of eating samosa is gone. Then I can go to any shop, anywhere I can go, because it's not going to, I'm not going to get any desire, and I will not be bewildered by seeing the samosa. Right? So that is how he interacts with the sense objects. He sees everything, but he don't desire anything because he's very fixed. And so that is what like many sadhus or sannyasis are like that. So they will go to times, everything, but they will not get attached. So Srila Prabhupada's example, if you see, he went to America with 40 rupees. After 10 years, he had 108 temples all over the world and lot of money in all the temples and everything. So at that time, Srila Prabhupada's worth was so much more, na? Thousands of dollars or something like that. If we sum up what are properties and everything. So, but that time also, Srila Prabhupada was very detached from all these temples and all devotees. He will go to big programs, he will go to big houses, he will meet rich people. But everywhere he go and only preach. He will only tell Bhagavad Gita. Use this is for your uh, benefit. So he tries to tell. So he was also same even after having lot of money with him. He didn't change. So the external situation of not having money and having money didn't impact Srila Prabhupada. He was same, humble, and always trying to help others. So that is what we say Sthitaprajna. He knew that this question was asked to Srila Prabhupada, like how you feel now when you have so many temples and 10,000 devotees and disables. Now, how you feel? So his answer was same. No, it's nothing. It's not mine. These all things are not going to remain with me, and these are all Krishna's. So I don't feel anything for them. That was his answer. That way we understand. Yes, the acharyas, the elevated souls, they are fixed. So this is how he walked. And then from 65 to 72, Krishna tells like how he moves in this world. And he don't come under the control of mind. So I give some simple example, right? How one desire will go. So how the this sthita prajna controlling the mind and desires, when he controls the mind and slowly the desires are reducing, he attains a peace. By attaining peace, he becomes happy. So, then Krishna says, like, say, at the end, like, we have the 76 second words. Then Krishna says, like, by this intelligence, by this power of his becoming fixed, he becomes peaceful and he is happy. And at the time of death, he will attain the final destination. He will attain the Brahman. So, because he is don't have any possessiveness, he doesn't have pride, so he is very happy. And by this, he will attain the final destination. So, this is what I thought like the flow, what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna and all of us. So, an example I took of eating because that's the easiest example we can relate to. But like this, there are so many desires or so many objects that attract our attention in this world. And happiness is one of that. Phone is one of that. Family is one of that. Car is one of that. So many things are there to which we are attracted and we are attached. And that is actually the problem of our life. So we should not be attached to happiness or peacefulness also. So that is actually the problem. The desire, miseries or the difficulties is not a problem. The problem is we have seen we are attached to the happiness or peacefulness. So we don't want that thing, challenges. But actually both the things are same. If we don't compare good and bad and all these things, then it becomes very clear. So in our life also, that does not mean that the family or our job, our home, car, our parents, they are problem in our life. No, that's not what Krishna is saying. He says how he walks, project the king. He interacts with everything, but he is not getting absorbed in that. So that we have to remember. We have to take care of everything. We have to do our dharma. We have to do our duty, everything. But internally is very fixed. So Krishna is not saying, he is not advertising that you give up everything. You give up family, you give up job. No, it's nothing like that. So he does everything in this world, but he is fixed and he is unattached. So It straight away it may not be possible, but slowly these verses give us idea how we should operate in this world. So while doing our duties, housework, job, dealing with friends, everything. If we can remember these verses, actually, I find it very helpful that, especially when the situations are challenging in the office or everywhere, just remember that I should not be attached to anything. Anyway, this world will go on. So that makes easier, and then you can internally be peaceful, and then you don't go to compare what was 5 years back, 10 years back, how it was now, how it is, nothing. So then you become peaceful because your mind is under your control. So this is, I spoke, I think, too much, but this is what this verses, I thought, is trying to tell us, and how that we can, and these things we can apply in our life, and also tell our other peoples to apply, help them. They don't know, we have to help them. Okay, I stop here now, and so I took a little bit more time, but yeah, now if anybody wants to add anything in this, and their understandings and their realizations, please feel free to add. Any small thing also okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Detailed
Krishna.
explanation. It's very practically we can use in our life. I agree the mind can be controlled. Yeah, for example, unhealthy person, health problem person,
Yeah.
some food restriction will be that means for the well-being, he tries to control the certain food. So that is mind. Mind is cooperating at the time, I can say.
Right.
So at the same time, if we have higher cause, like a Krishna, if we think about Krishna, it is good for us. So in that way, we can train our mind also. This is food is a small thing for this time living, this lifetime for survival. Certain food we have to stop means we have to stop. So that way, it's very good. Thank you so much for detailed explanation. Also, I would like to share my understanding from verse 54 to 72. I understood, the importance of engaging in Krishna consciousness. So we should engage our senses and the mind in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness, nothing but Bhakti Yoga. That's what Prabhupada mentioned in many purport from 54 to 72 verses. In 56 verses about Sitadhira Muni. Sitadhira Muni is explained, who is always in Krishna consciousness. So that a fully Krishna conscious person mind is not disturbed by the threefold of miseries. Because he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord. He thinks that he is supposed to face more problem due to his past deeds, but by grace of the Lord, his troubles are minimized to the lowest. At the same time, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord. It is due to Lord mercy. He is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. So this is very highly elevated Krishna conscious person's thinkings. So we can also cultivate our mind in this way. When we feel happiness or distress, it's all Krishna's mercy. For my progress, it's happening, something that I learned. And the verse 61, Prabhupada teaches through the purport how to control our senses.
Okay. Yes.
The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. And he has given the example of Ambarisha Maharaj. I mean, he used all his senses, nicely explained. I liked the example. Nicely he used all his senses in the devotional services. So he was able to control his senses and he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. For example, in other yogas, especially Ashtanga yoga, and we are forced to control our senses to attain some samadhi, some stages. A lot of rules are there. It's all forcefully controlled. But if we follow Bhakti Yoga, just by engaging our senses, by the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, we can control our senses, not forcefully. automatically it controls. If we engage in our mind and senses in service of Krishna, it automatically controls. That I understood. And the 71 verse I understood about the desireless. Desireless means, we have to desire to please Krishna. That's, if we get desire to please Krishna, then we automatically engage our senses mind in Krishna's service. So that I understood. So in the first chapter, Arjuna rejects to fight due to sense desire, right? I don't want to kill my desires. Desires he has attached. That came by his sense desire. That was in the chapter 2. Krishna taught him to be desireless. He has to fight to please Krishna. Also, he's a Kshatriya. He has to perform his duty. In that way, he is pleasing Krishna. So this is what I understood from these verses. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Yes, there were very important points, and from the purpose, like what you shared, it's very. I think these are very practical verses, and that's so. Krishna also gives example of Janak Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada gives example of Amrish Maharaj. They are kings, but they are Rajarshi. So they Raja means king, but Rishi. So they are sages. So king rishis, right? Rajarshi. So they were controlling by engaging in the service. They didn't give up their kingdom or anything. Of course, at the end of life, they give up. But when they were supposed to work, they used to work. They used to rule, but with full Krishna consciousness. And by that, Amrish Maharaj became so powerful by just doing that. And that's what Durvas Muni made a mistake, right? He thought he's just a king. What he can do to me? I'm a yogi. So he was doing meditation and Ashtanga yoga, right? So he missed the point of devotion. And that is the pastime in Bhagavatam, Canto 6, I think, where Sukadeva Goswami tells that, okay, by bhakti, you become so powerful without doing Ashtanga yoga or anything. Just by doing bhakti, your senses come so controlled that even the greatest yogis also cannot bewilder you, or their power is less. That is very nice point, Mataji, you brought up. Thank you very much. That you don't need anything extra. If we do properly engage in devotional service or bhakti, we don't need anything else. We already are becoming perfect. So sometimes it feels like, oh, that person, he meditates for 3 hours daily. That person is doing yoga for 3 hours. Not doing that. I'm just reading, I'm just chanting. No, we should not compare, because bhakti is beyond the gunas, right? Yoga and Ashtanga is instinct gunas. So Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, so many examples are there just to glorify the bhakti. Right? So, yeah. Thank you very much, Mataji, for sharing and bringing up. Krishna. Any other points anybody would like to share, or any comments or any questions, anything fine? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful explanation, Prabhuji. Like Jayalakshmi Mataji mentioned, there are several points, even like the same kind of points that made a very good impact for me also. Like I felt usually Prabhupada is a little more like he adds power to his words, like he calls people fools, and he's a little bit like strict when he talks or gives some explanation. But in these verses especially, all his purports were like very compassionate. Like he understood like what a common man will face, like not so great like beginners who like I felt that he was very compassionate when writing these purports. And especially when he says like when a sick person he will not be like, they will tell him not to eat certain vegetables, he won't like these restrictions, and he will also keep thinking about it. Like when gets better, he will go back to it eventually. So it's like even if you control the senses for the time being, later eventually it comes. And he also quotes the example of Vishwamitra being like he was very controlled, but then he got distracted. That was one point that made a very powerful impact. And like similarly, when we are told to cut down on like onion, garlic, and all that, I've also felt the same thing. Like the craving just increases until we develop a higher taste. So that was something that I felt, yes, it makes sense. When we develop a taste for the higher taste, then it's easier to let go. And the other point that I really liked was, though you can just go to a state of neutrality, like where you are not desiring for anything, but then the slightest inclination can cause you to go back to it. So if you put your focus on Krishna, you're always fixed over there. So there is like very less possibility of going away from that. So that point was very like making a lot of sense, because when people say meditate, empty your thoughts, that doesn't happen. But when we are chanting, we are literally focusing on Krishna. So that's the only thought. So that is kind of like a powerful meditation technique, I think, Prabhuji. Like that also like fits perfectly into the equation, I felt. And the question, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask or not, but what I have is, we are told that the souls come here to enjoy, right, Prabhuji? Like they come into this material world because they have the desire to enjoy and have selfish desires, like to the self-centered enjoyment. And Krishna is called Satchidananda, like he is self-satisfied, like he's like content, like with himself. So when we are aiming to go and serve Krishna, it is it like I'm little conflicted where Krishna says like he doesn't need us to serve him, like he is fully like Satchidananda. Then is it only for our benefit that we are trying to attain him? Is it like again one sort of like for us to be safe from this material nature? Is it like that, Prabhuji? Because Krishna actually doesn't need us, right?
Right. So very simple example, Mataji. Thank you for the summary and your insights. Very useful. And this question, like very easily you can understand practically. Like say Praharshita, right? Your daughter. So
Yes, Prabhuji.
Praharshita, if it is your birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have everything. Right? You have everything you
Yes,
need.
Prabhuji.
Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But if Praharshita on her own, she goes in your society in the garden and she picks up was a flower, any flower,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yes,
And
Prabhuji.
she comes to you and she says, "This flower is for you. I brought it. Happy birthday." Simple incidents.
Yes,
So,
Prabhuji.
though you have everything with you, you have flowers, everything is there. But and the flower that Arshita brought may not have smell, or she may bring a leaf, for example,
Yes,
I'm saying.
yes,
And
Prabhuji.
you will be very happy and peaceful when you receive from her, right?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
it's not that I don't want anything from Prarshita, but she brought on her own something, and that itself makes you happy, right? So what you have seen is Prarshita's love for you, care for you, right? And when Prarshita gives you the flower, you feel very satisfied and very happy, and you tell her that I am very happy that you gave me flower and you brought it from garden, you went down, you took so much hard work for me. Then Prahashita also feels very satisfied and she also feels happiness, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this dealing of this exchange, right? This is the same exchange that we are trying to do with Krishna. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So by our action, Krishna also gets peaceful, happiness, and by his bliss, we get bliss. Right?
Definitely, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
So
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah, so it means if we see like in Vrindavan or everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never think Krishna as somebody. They think him as a member of family, right?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
the dealings are like that only. Like you deal with Praharshita, same way you
Mm-hmm.
deal with Krishna, right? So I will cook for Krishna with love and I give to Krishna. This is for as a family member. And
Right,
then you
Prabhuji.
get happiness. Then you want to cook more items, right? So that is how we measure the bhakti is going. So It's both way. Krishna wants us to come back to him.
Okay.
He also
I
wants,
understand.
he also needs. If Prashita goes to Australia for study, for example, you, though she is happy there, but you always want her to come to meet you in
Definitely,
Japan.
Prabhuji.
Right? Same is Krishna. Okay, he wants us to be there. So it's not for us, it's for both. We also want him, he also wants us. Okay, so that's why when we take one step, he also takes more steps. Yeah, so that's how the dealing is. Now that's how we should do the bhakti. That I also need, and more than us, Krishna wants us. Like you want more for Rashida. Like your
Yes,
heart
Prabhuji.
will be more happy. So even if our kids don't talk to us, once she grows up, right? She may be happy with her friends. She will not talk to you, maybe. But we always feel that she should talk to me. Okay, she
Yes,
should sit with me. So that's how Krishna is
absolutely.
waiting for us now. Okay, you are enjoying material world, fine, but I am waiting for you. Don't forget me. We say, right? I say to him, sometimes you send a message, sometimes you call us. Right? So if he calls us, then we are happy. Oh, today Om himself called me from his side. So Bhagyasri is very happy. I am also very happy. Right? So same way, if you chant, if we read Bhagavad Gita, if we study Bhagavatam, Krishna feels happy. Oh, this person, he started doing the things. Okay. Then Krishna will help us.
Yes,
It's
Prabhuji.
both way, Mataji. It's both way.
Because this question, why it got me was the Durvas Muni example. I understood that him being like a yogi, Ambrish Maharaja is more powerful. But also, like one thing is Krishna was there to protect Ambrish Maharaja with from his Durvas Muni's wrath. So most stories where we see is Lord comes to save them. So I was like, instead of the saving part, what more also is what I was thinking, Prabhuji, like other than protection, because protection is sort of Aishwarya Bhava, I thought maybe like that.
No. Yeah, but protection is one thing, right? But
Yes,
by
Prabhuji.
this act, actually, Krishna glorified Amrish Maharaj, right? Amrish
Definitely.
Maharaj became eternal in Bhagavad, right? So,
Yes,
what Krishna is doing by using his disc for protection, he don't think that is important. He thinks my devotee Amrish, he should become famous, right?
yes,
And
yes,
what he's doing, that is so bhakti is more become famous. He don't want himself. So Krishna's disc we never talk in this
yes,
story.
yes,
We say just say protected, but we don't talk about disc or anything. We talk about
Mm.
Amrish Maharaj, how great his bhakti was, how he was great. So he glorified his devotee. He glorified Arjuna by becoming Arjuna's charioteer, right? So
Definitely.
that's like Krishna, like so he glorified Pandavas by giving them so many difficulties, right? So that is Krishna's love, that he don't want anything for himself, and he tries to glorify his devotees some way or other. He will do that for sure. We have to be patient. Right? So it is his always intention. My devotee is always great. That he will make sure. So many examples, like Prahlad, Vishmadev, everywhere, same thing.
Yes,
His intention is glorifying his devotee and bhakti.
definitely.
So we should look at that aspect rather
Mm.
than disc or protection. Then that comes like disc. Somebody can focus on disc, but that becomes then, what like you said, Aishwarya Bhava of something. But a devotee will say, how great Krishna is, and he protected Amrish Maharaj also, and at the same time, he gave lesson to Durvas Muni also.
Durvas
Durvas
Muni.
Muni understood that what I am doing is wrong. I should do bhakti. Right? So
Yes,
he helped Durvas Muni also. Right?
Yes.
So this is Krishna. He will help both. Right? So that's how Krishna works. Now that we have to see. Then we
Yes, Prabhuji.
feel love for Krishna. Basically, that's the point, I think.
Yes, Prabhuji. Amazing, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
That's what I hope helpful. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Anything else anybody has? Okay, so thank you very much. So today we complete second chapter, right? So next week we will say like chapter 3, verse 1 to say 23 or 24. 24, okay. So these 24 verses we will study this week and then discuss next week. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for time and coming and discussing. Really helpful for me all. And my Saturday and Sunday changes by these classes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.